Everyone, welcome to Psyched Syed. It's your friend Sumbul. In today's video, we are going to focus upon the goals of psychology. As you can see, that's the headline here: goals of psychology. Okay, before we begin, I just want to say that the goals of any subject are very crucial and important because, not because I say so, but because they somehow reflect the foundation of any subject, and that subject can be any subject. It can be anthropology, economics, sociology, political science, physics, chemistry, biology, even psychology. And those goals should be kept in mind, and researchers should try their best to let their research be guided by those goals. Okay, without further ado, let's dig in. So we have this image here, and it has very beautifully put up the major goals that psychology has. And first we have describing behavior, then we have explaining behavior, then we have predicting behavior, and finally we have changing behavior. Okay, now we are going to focus upon each of these goals one by one, and let's start with describing behavior, which is the first goal of psychology. First we have describing behavior. Okay, so this goal is all about a question, which is: what is happening? What is happening? At first, what psychologists do is they observe what is happening around, and then they eventually come up with the description of the behavior that they have observed while they were doing their observations. Let me explain it using a very simple example. Suppose psychologist or health psychologist, in this case, they are interested in studying eating habits among young adults in the US. So maybe this is what the psychologist or health psychologist are interested in the US. So what they are going to do, they are going to start with their observations. They are going to observe everything that's happening, and with that they are going to start collecting the data. Now they can use various research methods to collect all the necessary data. It can be naturalistic observation, correlational studies, case studies, self-reported questionnaires, etc. It doesn't matter what method that is, because that totally depends upon the nature of the study. So after having observed what is happening and after having collected all the necessary data, the psychologists are finally going to come up with the description of the problem. And in this case, that description of the problem can be, maybe this is what they have described, that unhealthy eating habits are prevailing among young adults in the US. So this could be one of the description of the behavior. Okay, now let's move on to the second goal of psychology, and that is explaining behavior. Okay, so it is not enough to have just described the behavior. there has to be some sort of an explanation, like why is it even happening. So this goal is all about dealing with the question of why. Like, why is it that the young people in the US are having more of unhealthy food items than the healthy food items? Why is it that they are not eating home cooked food items that are very nutritious and that are very healthy? So all these questions are going to be dealt with. Psychologists are going to focus upon them, and this is what uh, gets done by the psychologist when this goal, that's explaining behavior, is being focused upon. So explaining behavior does all these things. It deals with the question of why. Why is a particular behavior happening and why is it not happening? Now let's move on to the third goal of psychology, which is predicting behavior. Whenever we hear this word prediction, we almost always just come up with this word future, and that's right. Prediction is all about the future. We predict future. Even psychologists do the same thing. After having described the problem and explained the behavior, the third goal of psychology and psychologists is to predict, like, what is going to happen in the future. How likely is it that one behavior is going to happen in the future? Is it even going to happen? Is it not going to happen? So these are all questions that psychologists have to deal with. And maybe in this example, just take this example, and maybe psychologists have come up with their hypothesis or prediction that unhealthy eating habits are going to increase in the future, and that's something which is pretty serious. It's not a good thing. And after having made the prediction, they can now come on to the final goal of psychology, and that is controlling behavior. Finally, we have controlling behavior. So here it's not some sort of an authoritative person controlling behavior. It's more of, influencing behavior. That's more of influencing the behavior, because we know that unhealthy eating habits are not good. So psychologists are going to have to come up with explanations and ways and methods through which they can curb and control the unhealthy eating habits that are prevailing among young people in the US. So this is what the final goal of psychologist does. It tries to influence the behavior, and maybe they can come up with various suggestions like exercise should be a part of the lifestyle, the unhealthy food items should be eaten in moderation. So there can be multiple and so many suggestions for that particular behavior. Okay, that's it for the day. I hope you have gained something from this video. If you have, and also if you have enjoyed watching this video, then don't forget to like this. Don't forget to hit the like button. And if you don't want to miss out on any future videos, then definitely subscribe to the channel. I hope you have a good day. Take care. Bye bye.